applause. Thank you so much, sir. And Navika, it's over to you now.
Thank you, Meghna. Thank you, Swati. And thank you very much, Minister Puri, for joining us here at the Times Now Summit. The theme of our summit is India Unstoppable. What do you think makes India unstoppable?
If any one section of our society or any part of the ecosystem sought to claim credit for the unstoppable India, I would find fault for that. But I think starting with decisive, focused leadership in the last 10 years, programs which are anchored in development, ensuring that the benefits of development percolate down to the farthest or those most vulnerable sections of our society, and unleashing the inherent potential of India. The brand which your previous star performer was outlining, I think India collectively today is viewed not in terms of the 8.6% growth in the last quarter or the fact that you sent a vehicle on the South Pole of the moon, or that you are preparing for other great achievements. I think India is defined by the collective ethos, the new spirit, which has been unleashed for some time now, I want to give credit, but accelerated during the last 10 years. That is what India Unstoppable is all about. And I think, not to try and lay it on at the start of a conversation, I think a lot of people, distinguished members of the Fourth Estate, who have captured that story and who are focusing on that, that in and of itself is also a force multiplier. Because large parts of India, the progress in tier 2, tier 3 cities, you have to go there you have to see it to believe it. And I can see the growth coming from there, and I think that story is being captured. And the India Unstoppable today is essentially good governance has been translated into good politics. Whereas on the other side, you have a counter-narrative, you want to do a caste census, you want to go back to defining identity politics. Look, all that will remain because you had 190 years of colonial domination. You also have a past baggage which you have to overcome. But I think you're on the right track. I heard a famous in the sense that he holds a position in an American university, say that all this 2047 talk of a Viksit Bharat is a lot of hype. There's the same guy who said we'd only grow at 5%. Now, I don't want to take issues with individual assessment because they're not worthy of, being raised in a serious discussion. But you have to believe in India. And I agreed what my friend Sohail said earlier. That confidence which the Honorable Prime Minister has asserted for his leadership, for his people, and his belief in India. And it cuts across all sections. I mean, whether you're talking about the sporting arena, you're talking about the unicorns, you're talking about, I believe you're no longer interested in the energy security issue. No, but I'll tell you, we used to look down on PSUs. Oh, these are government outfits. They work like 9 to 5. Look at the performance of my PSUs. I mean, mine in the sense the two ministries I'm associated with. They've given a run to the private sector. And my God, somebody asked me the other day, ये तो market उठी है इसलिए ये हुआ. मैंने कहा जी, I took an opportunity of a platform like this. I said market उठी है 43%, and all the PSUs, OMCs, organized oil marketing companies, they've registered performances in multiples of 43%, 120%, 160%. So there must be something going right. And my submission to you is, yes, it's that new sense of purpose, that new sense of determination where we define our progress in terms of targets. All right, it's quite possible that some of those targets are unrealistic, but isn't it better for someone to be pushing you to achieve those targets rather than not have targets at all?
Okay, so your target of 400, ab ki baar 400 par, is that also unachievable?
Look, that 400, agli baar 400 par is both a description of the state of being in the state of the opposition. It's also a BJP NDA sentiment. But I would, we are 22 days away from the first polls, and I think more than 60 days away from the last poll, which is on 2nd June. All I would say is let's not be too conservative in our assessments. I know you've had others on the show and say that we are not psephologists and we don't get into numbers. Well, I've tried to make an assessment of numbers on 2 occasions. 2014, 2019, I was right earlier. This time I'm watching something which is unbelievable. You see a groundswell of support for the party in areas which were hitherto regarded as being remote for us. West Bengal, the southern states. How much of that groundswell of support translates into seats remains to be seen. But, if you get up every morning and you've got gifts thrown at you from the other side. Yeah, these are gifts which come our way. I mean, electoral bonds was one of them. Then you had
you call that a gift?
Absolutely. No, itna halla hoga, ye ho jayega, wo ho jayega. We suddenly discovered a party with 303 seats got 6,000 crores and a party with hardly any seats got 1,600 crores. Are bhai? Look, do you know of any system anywhere in the world? I've served in the United States for many years. I'm not naming any country. Any system where a democracy works without political funding? Now, how is that generated? I would have thought that a party which is in power, people naturally gravitate towards it. What would you rather have? You would have a system where taxpayers...
The question is not about them funding the BJP alone.
I provoked you. I'm so happy.
No, you're provoking me.
Yeah.
Well, let's try it the other way around.
Okay.
Let me try and provoke you. The charges against you and your government are that what gravitates towards you is fine. But what gravitates even more towards you is when you send your agencies to raid them. You raid them, and within 2 weeks, within a month, more bonds come to you. Ab ye rishta kya kehlata hai?
I would be happy to get into any exercise, granular level with who did what and provided who in terms of dates. Okay? You look at any history. Let's look at the period when these bonds were introduced, or now you look at the period going forward. What do you see? You see a genuine attempt having been made to drive this issue into a transparent
Semi-transparent.
Well, look, ideal would be totally transparent. All right? Now you'll have people coming in. Now, as far as the agencies are concerned, why do you want to beat around the bush? There's one man who says the agencies have been unleashed against me. Starting from November of 2023, he's been summoned by one agency on 9 occasions.
You're talking about Mr. Kejriwal.
You named him, I won't disagree. All I'm saying is he's been summoned on 9 occasions. Once I'm busy with this, once I'm busy with that. Arey bhai, if you have nothing to hide, why don't you come and let's have a chat? Now, where does it say in our system that if you are either in power or you are in opposition and you are part of a culture of impunity, that you are immune from such investigation? I mean, look at what happened in West Bengal. I mean, there were empty flats where there were sacks of currency literally littered around. And why did those investigations take place? Not because the agencies wanted to investigate them. Those investigations took place because the courts ordered them. There was some recruitment scandal in which some teacher who was at number 2 was overlooked for somebody who was at number 16. That person went to court and that's how it resulted. Now, I make
but Kejriwal's case hasn't gone.
I am jumping from...
And I want to ask you a very serious question. Germany and the United States have raised worries, concerns about the manner in which your government is going after
which statement are you
people
referring?
holding constitutional positions.
Which statement of the Germans are you referring to? The first one or the second one?
The first one.
The second one. Well,
the second one was
I
after their ambassador was summoned.
No, second one, I think, places the first one in perspective. And then if you are having my friend Jaishankar here, I suggest you ask him that. Because I can tell you...
No, but...
No, I know.
You've been a diplomat. You know when there is a concern expressed, how serious it is.
No, hold on. You can express a concern on anything without knowing the full facts. You have an independent and a robust judiciary.
How come they are not convinced?
They're not being asked to convince. Should we start looking into acts of omission and commission by other countries? It's not my job. As I said, there is a designated department of the government which will deal with that. But can you have a situation, if we don't have a robust and independent judiciary, this favorite subject, electoral bonds, they just took a view on it. And I said, be my guest. You've taken a view on electoral bonds, but what is going to be the result of that? All right, you do away with electoral bonds, you do it. What will happen? Will the electoral funding stop? Or will you go into a more or a less transparent system? That is what I'm asking. A lot of us are in this business of wanting to do good. And in the process, we are not sure whether our actions result in something positive or negative. Today, the government is sitting pretty because I think a lot of guys in the opposition and elsewhere, again, I'm choosing my words carefully, are scoring self-goals.
Elsewhere?
Self-goals.
The courts were not convinced with your argument of transparency or the semi-transparency. It took 4 hearings and 4 nudges from the Supreme Court of India and the Chief Justice of India.
I am too well trained to succumb to the temptation of commenting on something that the apex court says. I'll never do that. All I'm saying is, let me take you a step back. This story is just unfolding, okay? And I can predict a time. I'm speaking in my personal capacity, not as a cabinet minister. There will come a time you'll say, Yaar, you know, I spent larger part of my 39 years in the multilateral system. They're saying there, beware of what you want. You might get it. And I think a lot of our people in the opposition and elsewhere, they're asking for things, those will become a millstone around their necks. Because I'll tell you, whenever a government tries to reform, I read a brilliant statement by somebody today. What is holding India back? Why can't we grow 9 to 10%? Yes, we can. We'll have to tweak, we'll have to reform. We will do that. But this is a government. The Prime Minister personally, he never says that this is the final position. Come and give me a good idea. We'll act on it. The semiconductor story. Before that, the other stories. The electric vehicle story. The green hydrogen. The biofuel story. This is an India in transition. And I think one country, one vote. I'm just giving you one, instead of having elections every 6 months, if you have a system which is regulated once in 5 years, first part, then another one, all lumped together at an intermediary point. Transparent system of people wanting to make contract. अरे उसने वो इलेक्ट्रल बॉन्ड दिया उसको कॉन्ट्रैक्ट मिला अरे चेक तो कर लो वो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट उसको मिला टेंडर में बिकॉज ही वाज L1 और बिकॉज ऑफ दिस अरे आप बताइए ना आपके पास तो एक स्टेट थी 1600 करोड़ आपको कहां से मिल गए सो लिसन it's not for you and me to answer that. The fact that you are trying to take the country, its electoral, its democratic functioning into a positive arena, that is the story. And I think this is what the Modi government has succeeded in. Along will come a Kejriwal, make statements here and there. He will say कि I have not been arrested, I have not been convicted by the court. अरे तुम कोर्ट पर तो पहुंचने नहीं दे रहे 9 बारी तो तुम्हें समन्स किए तुम आए नहीं और अब वो कह रहे नहीं I've got relief, you got no relief. The point is, I want to function, I will issue diktats from sitting behind the walls of wherever he is. No, I am...
Wherever he is?
Wherever he is, I don't know.
He's in custody,
He's in custody
of an agency
now the point,
that operates under your government.
No, my government, yes. But the point is not that. The point is, what is the combination here? Combination here is a man who got up, he was a regularly recruited officer of the Indian Revenue Service, took a long sabbatical, joined the Anna Hazare movement against Bhrashtachar, sat on the stage as Anna Hazare ji said the other day, हम तो दारू के खिलाफ थे. ये सिर्फ दारू के खिलाफ नहीं थे, इन्होंने तो कहा मैं कभी राजनीति नहीं करूंगा, मैं ये नहीं करूंगा, मैं वो नहीं करूंगा. राजनीतिक दल भी खोला उन्होंने. उसके बाद जब मौका मिला तो शराब का ऐसा घोटाला किया कि वेयर बाय वन गेट वन फ्री. नहीं, कोई उसके मैन्युफैक्चरर के का डिस्काउंट नहीं था. ये था कोई किसी की परसेंटेज 4% थी, वो 12% हो गई है. Large amounts of money were made, large amounts of money were distributed. All that is there in evidence. All the investigative agencies saying, please come, we want to talk to you. November 2023 से लेके आज क्या है, आज 28 मार्च है. और अभी कुछ दिन पहले, when after the 9th summon he didn't appear, that is when he was made to appear, not of his own volition. The court told him to go there. And now it has reached this stage. And now you go back and play victim.
He's argued his own case, and he says the ghotala that is really happening is the conspiracy by the BJP to remove a popularly elected government to crush the Aam Aadmi Party.
Wow. First of all, how Aam is the Aadmi, that requires a separate discussion. I mean, मैं गाड़ी नहीं लूंगा, मैं मफलर पहनूंगा, मेरे बाद लाल बत्ती नहीं होगी. The transition, I fast forward to Sheesh Mahal. Okay? Aam Aadmi to Sheesh Mahal. Then, secondly, and now this is a more serious...
A story done by Times Now.
Why
and
do you
Times
think I'm
Now
saying it?
Navbharat.
I'm only saying things which you like. Obviously, you broke the story. No. What did they do? His government had the audacity to lock up a young reporter of yours. I remember it was, I think, in one of the Punjab cities, a young girl. All she was doing is taking that camera and going and asking question. And one way of dealing with it is don't answer the question, isko band kar do. I remember the hue and cry, the furor that arose after 2-3 days, they kept her locked up. Now, I'm saying that here is the great lover of democracy, the great lover of the people of Delhi who cares for their water situation. Oh, uncle, jab bahar the, tab tumne pani ka kyun nahi kiya? और तुम पहले गाली देते थे हरियाणा और पंजाब को कि ये पराली जलाते हैं करते हैं. जब तुम्हारी सरकार बनी पंजाब में पराली क्यों नहीं जलानी बंद करी? So you're dealing with a highly complex, and I think stage artists and actors have this great star quality that tell me. I have a 22-minute clip which was recorded about 2 years ago where I talked about his connections with those who have no stake in the stability and integrity of India. And I took that out to say, what these people are saying now, when he went to Chandigarh or in Punjab for the first time, before the election, whose house did he stay in? You document all his connection and his party's connection with those who have funding from outside with the intent of destabilizing India. It's all documented.
K forces.
Anji?
K forces that you're talking about.
K तो कई और में भी आता है, but as Suhail was saying, तो जाके देखिए वहाँ पे तो from the Pathrao industry now to you can't get a booking, the flights are full. I was civil aviation minister. I know what kind of a
No, I was talking about the Khalistani force.
Those ones also, the nutcases around.
Well, I want to, the question here by the opposition is, you have an attack on their governments, the manner in which the Congress Sarkar in Himachal Pradesh is virtually being destabilized, 6 of their MPs, 3 independents. आपका import ज़्यादा export कम का business बहुत चलता है. आप किसी भी पार्टी से MLAs, leaders ले लेते हैं, जिन पर आपने उंगलियां उठाई हों, उनको भी ले लेते हैं, जिनको आप कभी बहुत से आरोप लगाते थे, आप उनको भी ले लेते हैं. आपके पास ये वॉशिंग मशीन का ब्रांड कौन सा है?
आपने यही प्रश्न मेरी सीनियर कॉलीग निर्मला जी से भी पूछा था. मैं उन्होंने जो कहा मैं उसके साथ सहमत हूं, बट मैं कुछ और बताना चाहता हूं. In India, there's a freedom for any one of us to move from whichever city we live in to another city. That freedom does not get curtailed when you join a political party.
Even those accused by you.
सुन तो लीजिए, पॉलिटिकल पार्टी क्या है. देखिए, आपकी बहुत अगर सख्त आइडियोलॉजिकल लड़ाई है किसी पार्टी के साथ, तो आप लगता है कि आपकी विचारधारा और उस राजनीतिक दल विचारधारा नहीं है, तो आप खुद ही नहीं आएंगे. अब मैं 2023 की बात कर रहा हूं. अप्रैल का महीना था जब मेरे कुछ मित्र लोग और मैं जलंधर में चुनाव के बीच में थे. तो एक रिंकू जी हैं जो उस समय कांग्रेस पार्टी में थे, उन्होंने आके आम आदमी पार्टी ज्वाइन कर ली और
आज उन्होंने बीजेपी ज्वाइन
और कल मैं, ये मेरा सौभाग्य था कि उनको मैंने बीजेपी में स्वागत कर लिया. तो उनकी क्या एक्सप्लेनेशन थी. उन्होंने कहा कि जब मैं आम आदमी पार्टी में आया तो मैं बहुत प्रभावित था कि द आम आदमी पार्टी वांट्स टू डू दिस, दे वांट टू डू दैट, दे वांट टू रिमूव लेगेसी डंप साइट्स, दे वांट टू इंप्रूव द. मैंने देखा एक साल में वहां रहा, मुझे लगता है कि इनकी तो कोई इंटरेस्ट ही नहीं है. एंड ही केम टू द कंक्लूजन दैट विकसित भारत and Vikas would be better served if he was a member of the BJP. Now tell me, as Nirmala ji says, our doors are open. They're not open to everyone. By the way, a lot of people have come into the BJP. A lot more will come in the coming days. But we had a good look. He's a sitting MP. Without prejudice to anything else, we welcomed him yesterday along with another MLA.
So the only employment exchange that is working in the country is the BJP's employment exchange giving political employment.
No. I think you're being a little unfair there. How many jobs we have created, that we can have a separate session on. And I think one of the, participants in a discussion put it beautiful when he put it down to simple arithmetic. No, I'm saying something else. Whichever country in the world, when a political movement is gaining momentum, today the BJP is not only the largest party in India, it's the largest political entity in the world. It is only a matter of time where a lot of people from parties, left of center, right of center, will want to gravitate towards to the party for a number of reasons. One, they think they can contribute to its development effort and its Samaj Seva, but also because they see a future for themselves. Now tell me, anyone sitting here, including you and me, if we were politically, I can't, I've been associated with the BJP and the ABVP for many moons, but anyone else who wants to enter a political future, would you seriously look at the Congress party as a possible outfit to which you would want to move to? Tell me seriously. I only hear of people leaving the Congress party. There may be somebody who goes there because the BJP is denied a ticket. Those may be isolated cases. But otherwise, people move towards
command se appoint karwaye.
No, wait a minute. The party gets elected. After that, the party selects. Now, if you're saying...
Election or selection? Please
election. First, you have to get elected. Then, like even in parliament, you bring in the MPs. Next time we'll have... कितने बोले आपने 407? कितने कुछ number दिया आपने? 400 पार होंगे. हमारे जो... देखो, NDA...
At the rate you're going, one nation, one poll, one party, you might have 543 seats.
Inshallah, I hope that also happens someday, but I don't think that's the intention. By the way, seateं parliament में और reservation के साथ 33.3% बढ़ने वाली है. That's why we built a larger parliament, newer parliament, and 750 में से 540 is a conservative step. अब क्यों पीछे हट रही है?
Mr. Hardeep Puri, now let me ask you. You have to give me short answer. This is a short answer round.
Trick question है.
आपने बड़े आंसर किए हैं ऐसे. If I want you to describe the BJP in just 5-6 words, how will you describe the BJP?
a pan-India party committed to delivering development to making India Viksit Bharat by 2047.
पैन इंडिया पार्टी साउथ में आप हो नहीं.
कौन कह रहा है साउथ में नहीं? अभी देखते तो जाइए. कर्नाटक में थे, फिर वापस आ जाएंगे. अभी मैंने जो बोला,
तोड़ के
ग्राउंड
के
स्वेल,
जीत के,
हाँ?
तोड़ के जीत के.
अब ये तोड़ना पड़ेगा, नहीं जी करना पड़ेगा. अभी तो चुनाव की बात कर रहे हैं हम. 130 सीटें हैं और ये कहना कि वो नहीं है, तो उसका मतलब ये क्या होगा? मैं आपको जो मैंने देखा, मैंने 9 दिन मैं पालकाड में था, एंड व्हाट आई हैव सीन देयर, how much of that ground swell, that sentiment gets translated into seats remains to be seen. But there are still 22 days to go for the first poll and 60 for the next. You would
देखते
be
जाइए
surprised.
होता है
और
क्या.
अभी तो शुरू हुआ है काम. हाँ.
ठीक है. How will you describe the Congress party?
It was a good idea at one stage, helped in the freedom struggle, but soon will be referenced in the past tense.
The Trinamool Congress. The Trinamool Congress.
Why do you want me to comment on them?
You're a,
Why do you want me to comment on that?
You're an
No,
author.
I'll
a
say
student of political science.
it has some very bright people. But
Yeah,
I think
which
the
ones
model.
you've imported और वहाँ अभी हैं कुछ
No,
छोड़े
वो
हुए?
भी imported. वो क्या? The honorable chief minister there also was belonged to another party. Went there. Some of the other people came in also from different places. It's a new party, relatively speaking. All I would say is that their model of governance and what they do in terms of in election time is something that is deeply worrying. And it's something which you can't sustain over a period of time. These things will come to haunt them.
So let me ask you, how do you see the Bharat Jodo Nyaya Yatra? The Bharat Jodo
Bharat
Yatra
Todo.
1.
Did you say Todo or did you say Jodo?
It's christened as Bharat Jodo Nyaya Yatra.
No, maybe मेरी hearing is a little impaired, but I heard Bharat Todo Yatra. देखो जहां पे भी ये यात्रा पहुंचती है, उसके पहले ही उसी जगह में हल्ला मच जाता है और रीअलाइनमेंट्स हो जाती हैं. वो जो भारत को जोड़ने का, मोहब्बत की दुकान खोलने का जो प्रयत्न किया, I think this is also another exercise which, given a little bit more time, will be referenced in the past tense.
Do you underestimate the power of the opposition?
Not at all. I'm deeply respectful of the opposition. And I have always maintained, and seriously, that the rising BJP needs a good opposition, one which is credible, so that we are questioned on policies. But instead of questioning us on policies and engaging in serious political discourse, all they do is halla inside parliament and walk out. I mean, look, if you were short-sighted, which we are not, you would say, "तो बड़ा अच्छा है, लड़ते रहेंगे आपस में करते, we can pass any legislation we want." No, that's not what is required. They should get up and engage us in serious debate. Whenever an important issue comes up, in both houses of parliament, they are conspicuous by their absence. They do their discourse outside the Gandhi statue outside.
But they say there is no dialogue, and it is almost a kind of dictatorship that you want in the country.
On every contentious issue that has come up in the last 7 years that I've been a member of parliament, they have been invited. Of late, last 4 or 5 years, they've ducked it on all occasions. They've ducked it because their fault lines get exposed. They've ducked it because they don't have a serious argument. So all I'm saying is, I mean, if you look at 370 or you look at anything else, do you measure these legislations or these attempts by the government in terms of making India stronger, or do you not? And if you bring your own, अरे एक किया, इससे क्या होगा, इससे बहुत सारे illegal लोग आ जाएंगे बाहर से. अरे भाई, you've had a citizenship act since 1955. वो सारे लोगों को मिला के करो तो कितने लोगों ने अप्लाई किया? 1000 या 1600. I mean, the fact is we had a partition in India. The fact is a lot of people got left behind. The fact is that in one of our neighboring countries, the Hindu population was 26%. It's come down to 1%. The fact is people have had to flee. People who fled from Afghanistan, I had the privilege of bringing the Granth Sahib, etc. All those people have fled. The Gurdwaras were ransacked. So do those people require a legitimate means, an instrument to find residence here? And what is the total number of people involved? And you, अरे हमारी नौकरियां छीनी जाएंगी. This is Kejriwal. Uncle, total number of jobs में भी 1,000. और ये तो job seekers ही नहीं है. ये तो people है जो आपने वहां से फ्लड किया और business चला रहे हैं यहाँ पे. So, you know, this spreading of the false narrative, that is the one point which cements all those members of the thing called that. क्या वो घमंडिया alliance क्या नाम रखा था?
आप ही ने रखा था.
मैंने रखा था India Alliance, Ghamandia Alliance. That is one point which cemented them. And other than that, I mean, they wanted X, they wanted Y. आपस में तो agree कर नहीं पाए. और महाराष्ट्र में तो आपस में seats भी नहीं adjust कर पा रहे हैं.
आपकी भी तो नहीं होगी.
हमारी हो जाएंगी, हमारी हो जाएंगी.
नहीं हो तो उनकी भी जाएंगी.
नहीं उनकी भी जाएंगी. देखेंगे उसके बाद क्या होगा. उसके बाद क्या होगा. क्योंकि देखिए ऐसा है. कुछ लोग कहते हैं कि एक पार्टी है और मैं since I wear a turban वो कहते हैं we want an alliance.
आप अकाली दल की बात कर रहे हैं.
उन्हीं की बात कर रहा हूं. We wanted alliance. क्या principle? We wanted on principle. क्या principle? We should be recognized as the sole representative of the Sikh community. अरे भाई, तुम कब से sole representative बन गए भाई? They want an alliance. I mean, अरे देखो तो सही देश में क्या हो रहा है. यहाँ पे 303 सीटें हैं भारतीय जनता पार्टी की. पंजाब में असेंबली में 117 सीटें हैं और कहते हैं बीजेपी सिर्फ 23 सीट लड़ेगी. क्यों भाई? Now, the point is, people have lost sight of the ground reality. अच्छा, by the way, आप आंकड़े मेरे को देश भर के पूछते, पंजाब के भी पूछ लो क्या होने वाला है.
मैं तो पहले पूछना चाहती हूँ कि आप चुनाव लड़ रहे हैं.
नहीं, मैं चुनाव, अरे ऐसा है, मैं ये नहीं कहूंगा मैं चुनाव लड़ूंगा नहीं लड़ूंगा. मैं तो कार्य करता हूं. पिछली बारी 2019 में जब चुनाव हुआ तो मुझे आया एक दिन के आप जाके चुनाव लड़िए. आई वॉज ऑलरेडी ए मिनिस्टर, आई वॉज अ मेंबर ऑफ द राज्यसभा. पर मैं कार्य करता हूं. मुझसे अगर कोई कहता है चुनाव लड़ो तो मैं कौन होता हूं पूछना. मैं चला जाता हूं. पर मैं कुछ कह रहा हूं. आपने देखिए पंजाब में जब कहीं मैं बीजेपी के 3 से ज्यादा कभी लड़ी नहीं. मैं आप बड़े दावे से आपको बोलता हूं इस बारी डबल से ज्यादा सीटें बीजेपी की होंगी.
डबल डिजिट्स.
डबल से ज्यादा नंबर. तो
पंजाब जम्मू कश्मीर में अगर इतना कॉन्फिडेंस है तो चुनाव क्यों नहीं हो रहे
भाई? अगेन होंगे. इस समय क्या नहीं हो रहा है? इस समय इतने फेज में क्यों हो रहा है? इसमें ये कर रहा है. यू गॉट द रॉन्ग नंबर हियर ऑन दैट वन. मैं आई थिंक जम्मू एंड कश्मीर में भी होने चाहिए, होंगे. बट आई मीन द डेजिग्नेटेड एजेंसी टू टेक दैट कॉल इज नॉट मी.
लेट मी ऑल्सो आस्क यू. आप सिखों की बात करते हैं, आप दूसरी कम्युनिटीज की बात करते हैं कि हिंदूज पाकिस्तान में कम रह गए. लोगों का कहना है कि दिस CAA की जो रूल्स नोटिफाई हुए हैं, द लॉ वाज पास्ड लॉन्ग अगो, द रूल्स हैव बीन नोटिफाइड नाउ ओनली बिकॉज द बीजेपी लव्स टू डू दिस communal agenda and polarization politics.
नहीं, one minute. कौन सा communal agenda और क्या कर रही हैं आप? कह रही हैं. The fact of the matter is, in the neighborhood, because of the partition, the communities, they were not all Hindus. They were Sikhs, they were Jains, they were Parsis. They got left behind. And if they had been allowed to live in peace, fair enough. They could have come here without that piece of legislation also. Then they would have applied in the normal course. India is a great country. It's got this tradition of, what's it called, non-refoulement. We don't turn people back. But you give some of them... आज क्यों हुए रूल्स नोटिफाई और 6 महीने पहले क्यों नहीं आए? दिस इज नॉट अ क्वेश्चन. अभी क्या कहते हैं 6 महीने बात करने थे? आई डोंट सी एनी इशू देयर. बट कर दिया ना टाइम से. यू कुड हैव सेड के
जैसे टाइम से आपने पेट्रोल के प्राइस भी कम कर दिए चुनाव अनाउंस होने के 2 दिन पहले.
मैडम, हमारी पेट्रोल की प्राइस, आई एम सो हैप्पी यू कम बैक टू एनर्जी सिक्योरिटी. पेट्रोल की प्राइस पिछले 3 साल के 2 साल का रेफरेंस पीरियड, इट वाज द लोएस्ट इन एनी कंट्री इन द वर्ल्ड. अभी आने से पहले because they were
ये
having
चुनाव से पहले, and we've had this conversation probably every conclave, every platform that we sit on.
आपने क्या किया?
Some
2 रुपए
elections-
क्यों की सिर्फ?
नहीं, मेरा सवाल है कि 2 दिन पहले चुनाव से क्यों करते हैं जब आप
नहीं,
फ्री
नहीं,
भी
नहीं,
कल्चर
नहीं,
में बिलीव
नहीं,
नहीं करते?
ऐसा ये बात नहीं है, ये बात नहीं है। देखिए ऐसा है, नवंबर 21 में 13 और मई 2022 में, नवंबर 21 3 years ago, okay, मई 22 2 years ago 13 रुपए 16 रुपए कम की थी। उसके बाद क्या हुआ? अंडर रिकवरीज हुई। अभी जब इनके प्रॉफिट बढ़ते, शुक्र है अभी 2 रुपए कर दी, क्योंकि अभी पेट्रोल क्रूड कच्चे तेल का दाम फिर 86 रुपीज हो गया। देखिए जब तक मैं पेट्रोलियम मिनिस्टर, नेचुरल गैस मिनिस्टर हूं, मेरी कोशिश यही रहेगी माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के इंस्पिरेशन के साथ कि दाम नीचे आते रहे। वो एलएनजी का भी, लिक्विफाइड पेट्रोलियम गैस का भी, एलपीजी का भी, पेट्रोल का भी, डीजल का, सब दाम नीचे आएंगे। और इफ वी आर एबल टू
सीटें बढ़ेंगी, दाम नीचे आएंगे
ना, दाम नीचे आएंगे और इंडिया ऊपर बढ़ेगा, भारत ऊपर बढ़ेगा।
आपने इस बात का जवाब नहीं दिया कि 1 nation 1 poll 1 party।
1 party तो ये तो आप जोड़ रही हैं। 1 nation 1 poll। अब देखिए ऐसा है, द आइडिया इज नॉट टू हैव एन इलेक्शन एवरी 6 months, बिकॉज एवरी 6 months, एवरी इलेक्शन के पहले यू विल डू अ टाइम्स नाउ समिट, देन यू से चुनाव आ रहा है और फिर आप पेट्रोल का दाम नीचे करें। अरे भाई अगर चुनाव हर 6 महीने आएगा तो हम क्या करेंगे? अगर आप नवंबर 21 और मई 22 के बाद देयर वाज नो इंक्रीज, दैट इज द गुड स्टोरी, कि बाकी दुनिया में दाम बढ़ते गए, इंडिया में दे वाज स्टेबल, एंड आफ्टर नवंबर 21 another reduction in May 22 and another 2 rupees reduction now. That is the story. Graph is coming down.
You want us to see what you want us to see, but we are seeing something else. That's the difference in perception. But the question will always remain, and this is something that even at international platforms is discussed. You are a powerful party. You have the largest political party in India. But do we as a democracy run the risk of completely eliminating the opposition? Because या तो वो जेल में चले जाते हैं, हेमंत सोरेन जेल, अरविंद केजरीवाल जेल, या तो आप सरकारें तोड़ देते हैं, या आप बस en masse लोगों के एमएलए ले लेते हैं, लोगों के एमपी ले लेते हैं।
पहली बात तो पावरफुल पॉलिटिकल पार्टी होती क्या है? पावरफुल पॉलिटिकल पार्टी वो होती है जिसके कार्यकर्ता खूब मेहनत करते हैं, जहां पे नेतृत्व जो है फोकस्ड होता है, टारगेट सेटिंग होती है, एंड योर पॉलिसीज, गुड गवर्नेंस बिकम्स गुड पॉलिटिक्स, एंड आप उसके बेसिस पे, उस प्लेटफॉर्म के बेसिस पे चुनाव जीतते हैं। दैट इज गुड पॉलिटिक्स एंड दैट इज व्हाट इज अ पावर ऑफ अ पार्टी। एक जमाना ये भी था कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी के लोकसभा में 2 एमपीज थे, हम कहां 2 से उठते 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 कहां आए? वी वर इन कोalition। दूसरा, आई थिंक कोई किसी को लेने नहीं जाता। निर्मला जी ने बोला ना आपको, शी सेड आवर डोर्स आर ओपन, एंड डोर्स आर ओपन टू पीपल हु वी थिंक कैन ब्रिंग सम वैल्यू। अब उसमें से कोई एक आएगा, उसका केस था किसी के खिलाफ पहले, अब ये बताइए हमारे पास आने के बाद किसका केस खत्म हो गया है?
आप बताइए कि किसको आपने इन्वेस्टिगेट किया जो आपके यहाँ आ गया?
अरे भाई अभी तो गेम शुरू हुई है। लॉट ऑफ पीपल आप ये वॉशिंग पाउडर और वॉशिंग मशीन की, पता नहीं है सुहेल जी ने आपको कौन सी ब्रांड की, ये ऐसा कुछ नहीं है हमारे यहाँ। मैं बता रहा हूं, कई लोग आए थोड़ी देर उनको चिंता में आए, फिर थोड़े निराश हो गए, फिर चले गए वापस। देखो ये डेमोक्रेसी में द ओपन डोर पॉलिसी विल ऑलवेज रिमेन, बट द पार्टी बाय इटसेल्फ इज ग्रोइंग from strength to strength. I don't remember the exact figure, but I think it was 22 crore हमें वोट पड़ी पिछले चुनाव में, और आने वाले चुनाव में और भी पड़ेगी।
50 करोड़
नहीं, 50 करोड़ नहीं, टोटल इलेक्टेड कितनी है? 97 करोड़ है। कितनी टर्नआउट होगी, क्या मिलेगी? विद द ग्रेस ऑफ गॉड अच्छी वोट पड़ेगी उसमें।
Well, so in the end, let me just ask you, if you were to give a newspaper headline on the 4th of June, what would it be?
It's a little early for a 4th of June headline because I think all of you who run
प्लान
newspaper,
अहेड ना, आपकी विजन तो 2047 तक की है. मैं तो सिर्फ 4 जून की बात कर रही
I
हूँ.
think the headline will get better and better between now. As I said, 60 days are left for that thing to happen. More than 60 days. After all, we are on the 28th of March now, and the headline will have to be on the 4th. 4th को तो result आएंगे, 5th की headline.
News channels do same days. You are used to newspapers, but we run channels.
All I can say is that as we go forward from here, I think you should shed your reticence, get used to the idea that the BJP will work harder and harder. And look, I don't want to take, I'm not the one to suggest for a moment that we should be complacent. Some of us get complacent. It's a human frailty. But I think when you start preparing the headlines on the 4th evening and the print media on the 5th morning, it will be a transformational moment in the evolution of India's democracy. You'll say democracy has arrived and it's anchored and BJP is taking it forward to 2047.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, unstoppable Hardeep Singh Puri really talking big on unstoppable India. Thank you very much, Minister Puri, for joining us at the Times Now.